Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are tuning in the world. Thank you so much for joining here on Abstract Medicine. Thank you so much. For those of you who have hopped on to this video from my Instagram, knowing that I'm an artist, I am also a spiritual guide in vivo, in reality. I'm here to heal and uplift the world through healing services, including using cartomancy, which is the tarot, angel cards, and oracle cards. I also help to heal the energetic body, the physical body, through shamanic healing, and many other things too. I also do dream interpretation. At this very moment given time, I'm not currently taking private sessions. However, I am offering a free service here on YouTube, regardless whether I do open up my sessions again privately or not. The YouTube always will still stand, hopefully, with the YouTube gods in mind. To give you free readings. So today we're going to be doing a new moon, super new moon reading today. Super new moon collective reading for all of you. I hope you're enjoying this angle that I've set up today. It's slightly different from the other angles. I've sort of moved my camera tripod, essentially. Okay, so before we start, I have this new deck, which I'll just show you very quickly. It's by Nino Japaridze. Very, very cool deck. Let me just show you. So this is her. Nino is actually a female name. So yeah, she's her work is pretty cool. Let me just see if I can show you some. So you've got the Gesture of Gardens, quite cool. Maybe we can use them today. And the Fool. I can't remember where she's from. I think, oh yeah, she's from Georgia. But very interesting deck. Surreal artist, surreal painter. Very cool. Hopefully you can see those. Got sort of dim lighting today. Very cool. But anyway, I might use them later, or no, they're saying no. So we're going to be using those for another reading, but we're going to continue with the Salvador Dali deck, and we're also going to be using the Kim Krantz deck as well. I'll get on with it in a sec, but it's going to be the World Unknown Archetypes cards, and also, of course, the Moonology deck as well, yeah? So maybe there'll be some other things we'll be using too. Okay, right, so are we ready? Let's begin. It's very difficult to shuffle these cards because they're so long. I mean, I've already pre-shuffled them, but I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're safe, healthy, and well. Happy. Even though happiness is transient. And I do hope you're enjoying the readings as well that I've been posting out for the collective in terms of the divine love energies between divine feminine and divine masculine, the divine feminine reading as well. I'll also be doing the divine masculine reading as well at some point soon. Today is all about the new moon though. Okay, so what is the collective feeling at this time in terms of the new moon? Okay, right, so let's have a look. So we've got the 2, 4, and 6 of swords here, okay? So a lot of you are moving on, possibly relocating. This is the energy of Sagittarius at this time for the super new moon. A lot of you are moving forwards, moving on, possibly, I'm not sure, possibly from a heartbreak, a situationship, a relationship, or whatever. Maybe even moving on from hard times regardless. Things that have been difficult for you, yeah? And then we also have the High Priest here, okay? So we have the High Priest, which is, which is essentially the sacerdote, the Hierophant. Okay. Very strong Taurus energy here in this card, obviously. This is the first major arcana that's come through. So some of you may be moving away from a commitment, possibly. Some of you may be moving away from working dogmatically, I'm hearing. This new moon, this super new moon energy is urging you in a very strong way to move away from difficult times, and maybe even, wow, some of you might actually be moving away from a religious practice or some sort of way of thinking, possibly here as well. Maybe some of you have been quite stuck in a sort of cycle of thinking, and maybe some of you are going to be moving forward. Of course, this is not a private reading, so please just, go with the messages that are vibing with you at this time. Okay. And we have the strength in this situation. I'm doing a different Celtic cross spread. Okay, it's not the usual Celtic cross spread that you normally see. But we have the 4, 5, and 6 of cups. Okay, interesting. So the strength is someone from your past or people from your past. So, okay, some people from your past, or maybe there was a strength and a connection with someone or family members or people who you found a soulmate energy, a kindred spirit energy, possibly in your past, and this is where your strength lies. So maybe you're moving away from the high priestess energy. So the head priest. Interesting, I said the high priestess. You're moving away from difficult times. Maybe you're employing a guidance coach or even a counselor or something in order to heal a soulmate relationship or a high vibrational connection, possibly. This can also include family as well. Maybe some of you are also moving away from a certain type of thinking, and your strength lies in your community here, where you're like-minded, and maybe some of you are spiritual coaches or teachers or something like that, or even great thinkers, I'm hearing. So interesting. Okay, so what else do we see here? So what's the goal here? Wow. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 of swords. Okay, so the goal here for a lot of you, I'm hearing, is to put down your burdens. Okay, interesting. And we have this statue of ecstasy, essentially. So it's release, it's complete release. That's the goal, is complete release, ecstasy. Ecstasy in the spiritual sense, just release and surrender. So that's what I'm seeing here. Put down your burdens. 9 of Swords typically is, mental entrapment, lots of worries as well. So your goal is to not worry so much. I mean, the goal is never to worry more, but that's what I'm seeing here. I'm also seeing blind faith as well. That's the energy that I'm picking up on this card intuitively, not just through the tarot. Okay, let's see what else there is. What are we seeing in terms of? Okay, I think I actually read this wrong. Sorry. So this is actually the obstacles, and this is the goal. Yeah. So the obstacle is tribe. The obstacle is tribe. The obstacle is soul mentality, soul flames, soulmates, tribe, soul sisters, soul brothers. I'm also seeing children as well here. So some of you are moving away from a certain way of doing things. This can even be something as simple as something that you did quotidianly, so something that you did every single day, sort of as a matter of principle or as a habit, as a habitual thing. You're moving away from this practice, and you're wanting to let down your burdens and release and surrender any sense of worry, or this is giving me the energy of the Fool. So during the super new moon, you're moving forward into a new paradigm, a new way of thinking. And I would say that the obstacle or the challenge for you is to find and discover and experience and even appreciate and attract like-minded people, I would say. But this could also be, obviously this is not just generally a love reading, but I'll get some more cards to clarify, but this could also be, connecting with loved ones as well, platonic or romantic. So anyway, let's have a look at where the strength lies here. So the strength lies in 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9 of Wands. Okay, so the 9 of Wands is essentially working really hard. The 9 of Wands is the 9 of Wands is it's interesting because I understand what the 9 of Wands is just generally in the tarot, but in this deck there's like a weird, interesting creature that's kind of alien and not really human. This protagonist here, and it's in the snow. It's like the abominable snowman or something in green. And then we have this kind of, someone who's trekking through the woods, or there's someone who might be a hunter or something. So I feel so much sympathy and empathy for this creature here, the green-eyed goblin I'm hearing, because I feel like it might be hurt or in pain. And I feel like a lot of you have been working really hard towards your goals. And I feel like some of you really need to ask for help. This message came through, I think, in the collective reading. I'm not sure for the Divine Love spread. I can't remember. And it's like you're trying to hide from this hunter. That's what I'm seeing here. So your strength lies in working hard to protect your foundation and even maybe protecting your soul, I'm hearing, and protecting what your passions are, but also your spiritual practice too. This is the energy of like religion and science conflict, or the energy of religion and spirituality conflict. So it's all basically the same thing, just disguised in different words and different I think a lot of things have become political, basically, including religion, as it always has been, to be honest, including science and even spirituality as well. So there's even phonies and fakes within the spiritual community too, which is something that you're picking up on as well. So your strength lies in having integrity and supporting like-minded people. But I feel like you're having an obstacle or a barrier for this super new moon. What the super new moon in Sagittarius is telling you is to move forward away from people that are kind of false leaders or false spiritual teachers or coaches, and actually attract and even be a spiritual teacher and a spiritual coach yourself. This could also be a guidance counselor or someone who is like a lifestyle coach even, or like a lifestyle guru. And with that, you are being the light and attracting like-minded people. I feel like what's happening here for the collective is that a lot of you are sort of a little bit perplexed about who your real tribe are, but your real tribe is. But I see that you will be attracting your real tribe in the near future. Let's have a look at the external influence. So what's going on around you? We have the Magician, amazing. So we have another major arcana here. So your influence of the people around you is magic. So I feel like a lot of you could be practicing white magic. A lot of you are going to be, people around you will see you as something very magical in their sphere of influence. So I feel like you are potential leaders. I do see that here with the High Priest. People that teach the good light, I'm hearing the good fight as well. And I do see, just having a stretch, I do see that a lot of you are also going to be attracting like-minded people, and I feel like you have a Midas touch. So whatever you touch turns to gold. So whatever you're moving forward and away from, this is going to be a transformative time for you. The message from Spirit essentially is to move away from heavy burdens and mental anxiety, and to surrender into the ecstasy of your spiritual life path. Some of you could be spiritual life paths number 9. That's coming up quite strongly as well. Okay. I just need to have a look at this. I think this is is it Pluto? Right, let me just have a look. One sec. So So we have Mercury, the Mercury glyph here, although this is the energy of Taurus. And then we have the Magician, which is the energy of Gemini and also Virgo, which rules Mercury, which is ruled under Mercury. So you have Mercury here. Some of you are definitely going to be speakers. Some of you are going to be speaking out as well. Some of you are going to be speaking out about false teachers and also fake spirituality, pop spirituality. I do see that here. I believe that this is something that is calling your heartstrings. I do believe that your destiny is involved here. I was just looking at the astrology reading cards booklet, and we have the sun here, which is the glyph here. So, and then with Mercury, I do feel like a lot of you are destined to speak as part of your life purpose here. And I think a lot of you are great speakers. A lot of you heal through communication or through your voice. This can also be an act of creativity possibly as well here. With the Nine of Wands does talk about creativity. Wands energy talks about spirituality as well as creativity, as well as fire energy here. Yeah, so we have air here, and then Virgo energy here, which is earth, the Magician being Gemini, of course, which is air, Taurus energy, which is earth. So, and then we have, in terms of emotions, which is the Six of Cups. So this is what the blockage is. The blockage is returning, maybe coming back to your past. This could also be maybe a gift or something that you have where you're returning to your past. Maybe this is like a past practice or past hobby. But I just want to show you here with the sun card in this booklet. It says your immortal spirit, purpose and destiny is involved, which is amazing. So I do see that this is something that is destined. We'll get into it, but I feel like what's around you is, I feel like there could be someone who's desperately wanting to communicate, I would say. Okay, anyway, let's have a look at the timing of this. So we have 3, 6, 7, 8. Wow. So the timing is the Eight of Wands, but this could also be 8 days, 8 weeks. I would say 8 days, 8 weeks, where there could be very strong communication, which is, something I mentioned here about communication. So this could be someone coming back in who is a soulmate or a soul flame, or someone who you were in a situationship. And this is what the super new moon is calling you to do, is to move away from past pains. Because I do see that maybe there was an obstacle with someone that you found a kindred spirit energy with. This could also be friendships as well. So maybe any worries or issues or fractures that you may have experienced with friends or like-minded people that you love very, very dearly, or that you opened your heart towards and you found like a childlike innocence with that connection. I do feel like a lot of your worries have been in vain, and a lot of your worries have been unnecessary. And the message from spirit keeps coming through, which is about surrendering into your highest path. Because as you see, a lot of you have been focusing on your work. I do see that your strength has been lying in, just paying attention and focusing on your commitments. I do see that here. And I feel like some of you just do also need a bit of a helping hand as well, but also need to be understood, listened to, heard to as well. And I feel like there could be someone coming in, even as a mentor for some of you as well, who wants to come in and help you transition and move away from difficulties, to give you some guidance as well. I do see that some of you could also be doing a training or learning a new skill. Some of you could be working towards that. I do see that there is someone in particular who could be coming through. The energy is also of when the student is ready, the master appears. And I feel like the Magician and the High Priest is coming through as the master coming through and appearing. So there could be a literal teacher that's going to be helping you with something that you're really wanting to learn and focus on. And I feel like this could be happening as well within the next 8 days to 8 weeks. With this card, we have Roman soldiers. And they have the 3 Roman soldiers, and they have their arms out, towards this man who's sort of quite defensive, and you probably can't see that, but holding some swords in his hands. And I feel like some of you may have been, I just feel like this is a past energy where some of you, how many swords is that? Let me just see. 1, 2, 3. I see. Oh, okay. So 3 swords in this little image here for me is telling me there's the that's heartbreak. So I feel like and there's 3 Romans here. And soldiers are all about travel, especially here with the 8 of Wands is about travel, relocation as well. But there could have been 3 people or 3 situations where you've had to stand your ground and defend your honor here away from people that are just, you know, coming in with heartbreak energy. So that's the energy that I'm picking up on as well. Is you're moving away from heartbreak, you're moving away from people that betray you, you're moving away from disappointments. I'm hearing transgressions as well. And I see that there's a very strong need here for movement. This is also fast movement here. So the next 8 days, 8 weeks, maybe even the next 8 months as well. 8 Wands is telling me that's Leo energy too. So that could be in August as well, July, August for some of you, or was it August, September? Yeah, could be moving. I feel like something is happening quite quickly for you in terms of the timing. There could be someone who wants to approach you in a very fast manner. So there could be someone who is wanting to really come in quite quickly, but I feel like you're energetically even pushing them away from coming in to break your heart again. That's what I'm saying. Let's have a look at the immediate steps. So the immediate steps is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what's next? What's next is this William Blake painting here. You might not be able to see it because of the glare, but we have what's next is maybe a bit of fantasy, maybe a bit of confusion, you know, so that's it. And I feel like the energy is definitely to stand your ground, maybe ask for assistance from someone who you admire, who could guide you on this love matter, possibly, where you're really wanting to move away from hard times. And I feel like this is the right time to do that, especially here now in the end of the year. Some of you could be tuning into this video at a later date, another year, another timeline, which is fine. All of my videos and readings are timeless, but I just feel like you're ready to move on from something that's been quite painful for you, and I'm hearing heavy on your heart. No matter what it was, no matter what it was, I keep seeing this High Priestess. It's like this High Priestess is really calling my attention here. I just feel like there's a teacher here that wants to come in and to teach you and guide you or coach you in something. So for some of you, you might be a bit confused. Some of you are desperately wanting to move. Some of you are desperately wanting to travel as well. And you could be confused about when to do that, especially now with the travel restrictions that are kind of on and off. You know, we don't know. So that's kind of the energy of that pure and simple confusion here. Some of you could be getting a lot of offers as well in terms of, you know, love offers, emotional offers, sexual advances as well. But I feel like some of you could be confused. And I feel like the energy is, again, to stand your ground. And there's this very strong message here that you don't want to be hurt again, okay? And I feel like some of you could be confused about some options as well that could be coming through for you. Next steps could be maybe the next 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months. You could be getting a lot of offers coming through in terms of sexual advances, romantic advances too. I feel like there's one that's good to go. And I feel like first and foremost, as always, it's important to love yourself first here with this empty cup right above this person's head. So, you know, first of all, love yourself. And I feel like a lot of you have been doing that over the last year. And we have death, no surprise here. You are going through a transformation. So the overall approach of this whole reading for the super new moon in Sagittarius is transformative energy and big time endings. You know, the death card is scorpionic energy here as well. And I would say that there is something that is heavily weighing on your mind in particular, but I feel like spiritually you're already transitioning into your new phase is what I see. Okay. Some of you are, as I said before, having to end a situation, a connection as well, that's causing you a lot of heartbreak and hurt. Some of you, of course, without, goes without saying, some of you have really experienced a loss, and even an ending of a life around you. So there could have been someone that you loved very much, of course, who could have been your guidance throughout your years, maybe an elder or a father figure or something like that, someone who you respected a lot, and you went to them for guidance and counselling, or counsel rather, and they had died recently. And I feel like some of you are desperately wanting to move forward away from these hard, feelings, and mourning, of course. But I feel like, your strength is, of course, making sure that you're protecting yourself energetically as well, making sure that you are around like-minded people that just cushion the blow as well of pain, as well as making sure that you are surrounded with people who have your best interests at heart. That's the most important thing. And then here, what's around you is magic. What's around you is people who are also wanting to create the same things that you're wanting to create. And I feel like a lot of you have the toolkit for you to move forward in your life. Generally speaking, I feel like a lot of you are learning just these life lessons, which can be very heavy on the heart, very difficult, especially, for a lot of you that aren't sleeping very well either, or just not sleeping at all. I do see that here, that you are going to be surrendering. And I feel like some of you could also be astral projecting as well at this time. I feel like that could be a goal of yours, or maybe that's something that you're wanting to learn how to do. I would say maybe from a teacher or something like that, but I would say be careful how you do that, because there can be energies that can come in that are, the universe is a multitude of dimensions. So, with that in mind, you can imagine, just with your imagination here, with imagination card as well, fantasies, be careful, because you could actually bring an energy in that is very maleficent, not in your best interest. Some of you are trying to communicate as well and astral project towards your loved ones, or even experience the heavens, or somehow, maybe, I'm surprised the High Priestess hasn't come through, but somehow sort of use divination tools as well in order to connect with the ethers. And I feel like a lot of you are, I have to say, be careful that you're not dabbling in magic, because again, that's also another energy of, that can be very dangerous, spiritually speaking. So just be careful what you're doing. If you need some advice or anything, just contact me by email or send me a message or something like that. But I feel like the main thing is that you are possibly stepping up your gifts and your spiritual practice into you actually serving the world with your life, but also with your purpose in life. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at the long-term effect. And then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of Wands. Interesting card here. There's a lot of activity in this card as well. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of activity in this card. 7 of Wands. Using your assertive power, there could be a lot of, just generally speaking, around you in the long term. There could be a lot of kerfuffle, a lot of movement, a lot of energy, a lot of busyness around you. So the message here is to stand your ground, protect your energies. As I said before, that's where your strength lies. And also just to continue working for the light here with that candle. There's hope here as well. Bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Wands. Wow. So the 4 of Wands does talk about commitments, also something to celebrate, a means to be cheerful as well. And some of you could also be getting married. This could also be a twin flame energy here as well. This is typically the twin flame card. And underneath that, we have El Colgado, which is the Hanged Man. So there could be a situation here where someone is wanting to definitely rush in. And look, we have the moon card here with the super moon energy, beautiful Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio coming through, and here's the Pisces energy as well. So I do see that some of you could could be dealing with a love situation, where some of you have had to delay your marriage, your wedding as well, of course, because of the restrictions and everything. And so some of you are thinking about maybe having a little ceremony about that, but maybe there's been some interference just with life happening, and maybe even deaths happening as well around you. Some of you have been thinking about eloping. Some of you have been thinking also about someone who you feel like you were married to them in a past life, and these feelings have been heightened maybe through your divination practice, or maybe through your astral projecting as well. And I do feel like something or someone is really wanting to rush in and to communicate a love offer, where your connection or your situation could actually be improved into the next stage of its of that relationship, however that looks like. So that could be friendships turning into romantic relationships turning into a solid commitment, a commitment turning into marriage, you know. But typically the Four of Wands is something to celebrate, and also talks about weddings. Okay, so let's have a look and see what else there is. That's basically the general synopsis. Let's have a look at some other cards now. Okay. Someone could have been holding back as well in a connection, and there could have been delays in a relationship, or a romantic connection that could have taken place. Some of you, as I said, with the Four of Wands, is something to celebrate, but also talks about commitments and stable foundations. So this could also be you wanting to relocate or travel or move into a new home or a place of work even. And some of you have been really worried about this, and maybe there's been a reluctancy to do this, to travel, to move forwards, just generally speaking, because you've been stuck in a negative cycle. And I feel like it's got something to do with an old belief system that you're needing to shed and let go of. I do feel like there's big time transformations happening for you regardless. And okay, it's quite a few cards, but let's use them. And I do feel like you have the tools to manifest your dreams as well and go towards your life purpose. I mean, really activate it. I feel like this is a fantastic portal. The super new moon is a fantastic portal. Oh, there's another. There's quite a few. Oh my gosh. Quite a few. It's a fantastic portal for you to move things forward in your life. All right, let's have a look. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, beautiful. So fantasies, you're really fantasizing about something. That's the Seven of Cups that came through as well, and the 7 cards that we have here. So we have the womb here. So I think L is 50, so 10, 65, 66. Okay, some of you could be born in 1966, or some of you are resonating with that angel number 66. A lot of you could be falling pregnant. A lot of you are wanting pregnancy. Some of you are creating something in your womb. Some of you are creating something. Just generally speaking, a lot of you are creators as well, but I also do see that a lot of you are healing your womb chakra as well. Beautiful. Let's have a look at this card, because we gotta. Where is that booklet though? So there's this, but I don't actually think. Oh, here it is. Yeah. The womb. Beautiful color as well. Colors. Red does talk about the root chakra as well. You know, finding a base. A lot of you are definitely healing your maybe some traumas that have been happened in your womb space, you know, where you may have been having sleepless nights about, and something that you're healing at this time. So I would say this is about you clearing the energy once and for good, I'm hearing. Some of you could be triggered about that too. I mean, this is a traumatic event that could have happened. Okay. Okay, so anyway, let's just try and shift the energy a bit, and I'll have a look at the card. So 155. 155 could be significant for you as a number. Take a note of it if you like. 155. Okay. Everything has an origin story. The womb archetype asks us to contemplate the beginning beyond the beginning, the mother beyond the mother. In a world that often negates the power and necessity of feminine principles, this card returns us to the warmth, tenderness, and sacred intelligence from which we came. It is a card of receiving, not achieving, of accepting, love from the mother of us all. She is a life-giving force that forgives and cherishes even the most wounded and disparate soul. No matter how lost you are, the womb awaits your return to help you heal and grow. This card is a call to keep things simple, to return, to be reborn in the name of love. The womb is everywhere. It is beyond gender, beyond time. We are within it, as it is within us. Okay, so consider that Mother Earth must also have a mother. Imagine her. What would honouring the feminine look like to you? Where would you begin imagining yourself as loved? Is a good place to start. Beautiful. Okay, let's have a look at this card now. So we have the tear. Yeah, there could have been some sadness, I said before, that heartbreak energy that you're moving away from, something you're mourning. You've maybe there's been some reluctance, but it's the energy of moving forward and just taking one step ahead, one step after another, and it's difficult energy, but as long as you just keep that momentum going, no matter how long it takes, just keep moving forward in your own time. Okay, I do feel like a lot of you are moving away from pains as well, and I feel like part of this process is shedding and crying as well. So we have 50, 51, and 52. There's also the emerald as well with the green droplet. So I do see that there is something cathartic happening here for you. Tears are important. Crying is important. It's part of healing, and it's part of transformation, and it's part of the spiritual path in terms of light worker path. Okay, so let's have a look. 169. Okay, 169, take a note of that. Have a look at what that means to you. So the tears are droplets of letting go. There you go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversational situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. Some say that tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. Through our watery eyes, the ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we are reminded of their eternal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do. I mentioned grieving. A sinking down into disappointment or despair that once acknowledged will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. Beautiful. Okay, so the tear is powerful, and it is possible to be subsumed in its waters. Find a supportive place to open the floodgates. So I mentioned a supportive network. I also mentioned protection, a cushion. So people, who are cushioning the blow. I remember I mentioned that. So this does talk about that as well. Be careful with who you confide in as well. That's what I'm hearing too. Very strong message coming through. If both the tear and the river appear in a reading, this indicates an excess of the water elements in your life. As in the Ayurvedic tradition, balance it with fire and earth. So I do feel like there's a balance here so far with fire. But anyway, let's have a look with this card here. The forest. Okay, beautiful. The forest. Something yet to be explored, or something that you can't see right now. So we have 10, 20, 30, 35, and 36. So 36 could be your age or could be significant for you in one way or another. Some of you are maybe being asked to go towards the forest and hug a tree, I'm hearing. So 135 could be significant. So I'm hearing pay attention, write it down. Have a look at it as well. So anyway, the forest, let's see if I can pick it up with my nails. Hang on. Okay. Okay, the forest. Consider for a moment your earliest memory of the forest. It's likely it included all the mythic dynamic of the archetypal space, a little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps losing your way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. Such is the magic of the forest. It requires first that you enter it and then that you get lost within it. You may think there is a path to lead you straight through, but soon enough you'll be on what is known as the pathless path. There are tricksters there, dense foliage and entanglement, but equally present are the glimmers of fairy light and friends among the trees. You are on an adventure now, and there's no turning back, so embrace the dim light and the moving shadows, whether literal or imaginal. Brave the forest and get lost getting found. Amazing. So get lost getting found, discover new territories, the energy of the Fool, as I mentioned before, but also moving forwards and not turning back. Moving forward just one step ahead. I'm also seeing elders as well coming through for you. Elders in the energy of the trees. Remember, trees are people as well. It's just a different form of energy. So these could also be you may have a very strong connection with trees. Maybe you were a tree possibly, or you just have a real connection with fairies or something like that. But I'm also seeing father trees. I'm also seeing ceremonies taking place in the forest too. So get lost in the forest so that you don't get found. Some of you are also being asked to go off grid. Some of you are thinking about moving and relocating and traveling off grid as well. The hunter, the maiden, the crone, and the shaman make regular appearances in the forest. Don't be surprised if these cards come up together. Let the narrative reveal itself. If you get out of the forest without feeling lost, you were only in a little grove of trees. The great archetypal forest requires we spend at least one night frightened for our life. So this is a very this is an interesting message here, because this is actually part of the shamanic ritual of facing your shadow, and in some cases it can involve you spending a night in the darkness, either in the forest or in a cave. And this could also be the cave of your own mind. This could also be you creating that sort of vibe within your own home. I was listening to this fantastic podcast, which I love, as I paint at my studio, and it's called The Shaman's Cave, and these lovely ladies, they're elders, and they talk about how, during the COVID pandemic and everything, some people are thinking, well, I want to go to these sacred sites, I want to go and do rituals in these sacred sites, and the high priest is coming through to tell you that you don't have to be stuck with one way of doing a spiritual practice. You can see that in a different way, and you can do spiritual practices in a different context. What I'm saying is that these elders, these ladies, said that you can create a sacred space in your garden. You can create a sacred space in your little yard if you have one. You can create a sacred space. Like me, I live in central London and I don't have a garden, but I have lots and lots of plants in my loft apartment. So I've created a little forest in here, and I love it. And attracting fairy energy as well here. So, just use your imagination as well, is what I'm saying. Let's have a look now with this card. Let's see what this is. We have the Siren. Wow, look at that. Very strong Pisces energy here, but you don't have to be. But there's also earth energy and fire, and of course water. But I would say that some of you are really going to be connecting with water, and lots of mystical energy. The energy of a high priestess is coming through as well. Some of you have a connection with Lemuria as well, and swimming and water as being healing for you too. Take it as it resonates, because we have the forest as well. So some of you could be healing something in the forest or in water. So we have the Siren. Where is she? And remember, I spoke about singing as well, your voice. Some of you are speakers, and your voice, we have the Siren. So La Sirena is a very mystical creature that lives in the sea, that calls. The siren is actually, in Italian, the siren is different from mermaids. There's 3 different types of sea beings that are kind of hybrids, from my understanding. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Okay, number 97. So take note, number 97 could be significant. We also have 15, 16, 17, and 18. Something could have happened when you were 18, maybe with a mother, or something to do with your womb space when you were 18. There could be that, okay? So anyway, let's have a look. The siren, the temptress, the seducer, the femme fatale. The siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters, and the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, down, down to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option. So I spoke about the call for your life purpose, you know. So resisting the call may not be an option unless, like Odysseus, we bind our hands to the mast of our ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. Beautiful card. Other iterations of the siren archetype include the nymph, the mermaid, and the fairy. Interesting, I mentioned the fairy as well. They often come in sets of 3. I mentioned that. There's 3 different, I didn't read this before, but there's 3 different types. Anyway, interesting. As a trinity of temptation. Okay, so some of you could be a temptation to someone, I would say. Embodying the siren, because you have that magnetic energy, the magician. Embodying the siren archetype requires that we explore things that are taboo. The siren laughs at conventions and constrains. She eats rules. Fantastic. So as I said before, you're moving away from dogmatic practices or ways of thinking. I feel like you're unique people, essentially. You're one of me. You're one of my tribe. She eats rules. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's have a look at this card here. And we have the fault line. Okay, so with the fault line, so some of you are breaking something. Some of you could be breaking up from a way of thinking. Some of you could be breaking up from somebody. Some of you could be breaking away. Some of you are, I would say, also something is tearing itself apart. Something is drastically changing in your life here. Okay, so we have the fault line. Let's have a look. The interesting thing as well is that Kim Krantz, the author of these beautiful cards, she dedicated quite a lot of her time, I think the last 10 years, to creating cards. And, you know, she's an illustrator, she's an artist, of course, but she's mainly a musician. So she had to kind of put her band on hold. And I think she's going to get back into it, which is quite interesting. So some of you are needing to listen to the call of your life purpose, which can be a multitude of things under an umbrella of creativity, for example, and then you come back to your original, you know, gift from your past, which was the 6 of Cups that I mentioned earlier. So maybe some of you could be going back to go forwards with something. So you're maybe reviewing an old hobby or something like that. So that's what the super new moon is calling you, is this new energy. New moons are about new energies. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, enough chit chat. Let's have a look at the fault line. If I can find it. 161. Okay, 161. Interesting. So 1 is the power of initiation, 6 is the power of balance as well, and then we have 1 again. So there's a very strong need for balance here. You know, try not to be on wobbly ground here. So we also have 50, 60, 69 could be significant. So we had 66 and we have 69 here. Okay, the fault line. Imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is this energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. Okay, so some of you could be having relationships that you're sick of walking on eggshells with, and you're feeling like you don't want to cause, I'm hearing casino, so you don't want to cause an issue, you know, a problem, a trouble. So I feel like now it's the time for you to be authentic. That's the energy of Sagittarius as well, as authenticity. It's likely this cracking open is overdue, as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. This card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that's afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line. The fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. Okay. It is possible that something a loved one said caused a crack in your relationship that has never been mended. Revisit it. The time to heal is nigh. I feel like some of you have really been having sleepless nights about this and been very worried. In Japanese kintsugi pottery, gold is used to mend cracks. Breaks are thought of as precious rather than something to be hidden. Okay, so that's exactly it. It's like exposing that, exposing the pain. You know, I feel like a lot of you are releasing situations, you're needing to surrender the pain, you know, as I said before with the ecstasy card that came through as well. And I do see that a lot of you, this does involve a relationship. Okay, let's have a look at this card. The empty room. Some of you mentally and in your heart space could feel empty even though you are in a relationship. Some of you could be emptying, some of you could be purging at this time. Super new moons do talk about that, generally speaking. In Sagittarius is about that. But moons, transitions, new moons, full moons are about purging, closing, and starting new cycles. Very transformative energies. You know, typically during these days, there's not very much sleep, or there's interrupted sleep. But I see that some of you could be feeling really empty and lonely in a relationship, which is very sad. But I do feel like you have the strength to move forward. And I feel like this is a fantastic lesson for you to be authentic and not be afraid to be yourself, because even if when you're in a relationship or otherwise, you're denying your own true path by not being you. So there's only one of you. So make yourself count for yourself and show up for love in your own self and start to fill up your own cup, because I feel like it's been empty for a while for some of you. So we have 10, 50, 62, 62. 62 could be significant, could be the year of your birth, possibly. So, okay, so let's have a look at the empty room. Number 147. 147 could be significant for some of you. Take a note if you like. Okay, so the empty room, the vortex, the abyss, the nothing. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something or anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next, to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle in to the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. The archetype of the empty room is also portrayed as the hungry ghost, always feeding and never satiated. A day of silence is a surefire way to harness the power of the empty room. Beautiful. Okay, last but not least, wow, we have the ocean, so that's a connection here, and I'll have a review of all these cards at the end. So we have the ocean here, a lot of you being called to move to the ocean, travel to the ocean, go to the ocean for healing. So we have water, water, water here. There's a lot of emotions. Remember how the book mentioned, you know, when there's a lot of water, there's a need to balance it out with some earth and some fire here. So I do feel like this does involve an emotional connection, emotional situation. I do feel like a lot of you are purging at this time and shedding. The new moon, the super new moon in sorry, I just saw something here. The super new moon in Sagittarius is all about a cathartic energy for you to shed, to heal, and also your psychic abilities as well. I'm also seeing Constantine. I haven't actually seen it in a while, but I'm going to see it again. It's on Netflix at the moment. But there's something actually very true about stepping into water and tapping into a dimension there. So there's that. But I'm also seeing two pupils as well in one eye, and there are creatures that do have that in another galaxy, I'm hearing. So anyway, let's have a look at the oceans. We have 10, 20, 35. Some of you could be 35. I do feel like a lot of you are connected with Lemuria. A lot of you are water signs as well. You have very heavy water in your chart in very significant places in your astral chart, your natal chart, rather. Okay, let's have a look at the ocean. 133, that's the energy of the master number. 133 is all about teacher student. So I spoke about that earlier. So the unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature, yet amid its overwhelming power it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth, a new being. Life is change, let the wave crash. The ocean displays every emotion without shame. To witness its glassy moonlit surface and its unforgiving storms is to know the full spectrum of the human experience. Study waves, touch their surface, get in the water. No matter where you live, each drop is part of the whole. The ocean is in every tear. Wow, that's really powerful. Don't know about you, but I'm feeling that very strongly. So yeah, empty your pains, shed. Cry it out. Of course, goes without saying. Maybe drink more water as well for some of you. But I do feel like a lot of you are harnessing and strengthening your divine feminine energy as well, regardless of gender. Some of you could predominantly operate under the archetype of the divine feminine as well. And I feel like it's you claiming that for a lot of you. Beautiful. Let's just leave those cards there. Let's have a look at the Immunology deck and we'll close out the reading. So what is the super new moon in Sagittarius saying for the collective, please? I do feel like a lot of you are ready to be pregnant as well, whether you've been pregnant before or whether this is the first time. Some of you could also be giving birth in water as well. Okay, so the new moons, we have a new moon in Capricorn here. So new moon in Sagittarius is saying that your hard work is paying off. So I spoke about that, the Nine of Wands energy earlier that came through in the tarot. So your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. So you've been working very hard. People are seeing it, tribe is seeing it. And I also do see that it's time to move away and also have a holiday as well. Goes without saying, maybe this involves travel. But your hard work is paying off. Yeah, look, we have full moon in Capricorn as well. Amazing. So lots of earth energy. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So again, beautiful resonance here. So whatever difficulties you've been going through and you're moving forward reluctantly or even step by step, just slowly, you're going in the right direction. the end is nigh, I'm hearing. And then we have nothing is set yet in stone, mutable moon. So I'd say that this is the energy of, you know, endless possibilities are happening for you because you've worked so hard. It's going to pay off no matter how that looks like to you, whether it's through work, financial, moving, traveling, relocating, going off grid, soul connections as well coming through as well. Also calling in your guides, you know, in this realm as well, through a slightly different dimension in the 4D, in terms of sirens as well, nymphs and fairies as well, to come in to help you as well, to see the magic in this world. And I do see that there's endless possibilities for imagination as well. Let's get one more card. What is the new moon, super new moon in Sagittarius? I'm hearing empty your burdens and let go of baggage. I also do see that there is a specific mermaid or even alien or spirit or guide that is keeping an eye on you as well, making sure that you're okay. This is part of your, this individual is part of your soul tribe as well. And look at that. A new start is coming. New moon. I mean, I think that's really magical. A new start is coming. Let's have a read of this, okay? Wow. Wow, 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 my friends. Okay. A new start is coming. This is really exciting card. Beautiful energy. Wow, it's just got such a great vibe. Wow, okay, I can't stop saying wow. New moon, where is it? Number 24. 24 could be significant. I mean, for example, I'm born on the 24th of February, so that some of you could have a date like that, 24. So a new start is coming. There is a yes coming your way. Some of you are also going to be proposing to someone. Remember, those are 4 of wands. It's a yes. Moving forward to a home. A new start is coming. Beautiful. So this is one of those most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. The situation you're asking about is blessed and you are on target to achieve your goals. The message from the universe is that you're starting all over again in some way. Be that on a new or better course, or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and you're moving into a new cycle now. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. So attune to the moon, I'll see it when I believe it. A new start is on its way. You will soon start to feel more hopeful about getting what you want. Your belief that your dreams can manifest is working well. Forget about the past. What did I say? I mean, wow. Beautiful readings, dear one. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.